forum.
Tell them what to do with it.
There were so many.
That should have been.
Especially during COVID.
Yeah.
Logging in all the time and nobody would show up.
You know, whole mile by mile.
All right, John, ready?
Okay, it's 1 o'clock. I'm going to call the July 15th Board of Commission meeting to order. Today, we're going to start out with the prayer by Commissioner Sarkella, followed by the pledge by Commissioner Moody.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this day, for the weather that you've been giving us. We ask that you would continue to bless our farmers as they progress into harvest season. We're grateful, Lord, for the country that we live in and the community, for our friends and neighbors. And we ask that you would be with us during our meeting today. Allow us to make strong, thoughtful decisions and always to remember that all good things come through you. In your most precious Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here. Yeah. My bride wasn't home to dress me.
Leslie, roll call, please.
District 1 Chairman John Block.
Present.
District 2 Commissioner Roger Ballard.
Present.
District 3 Commissioner Gary Heberling.
Present.
District 4 Commissioner Bill Sarkella.
Here.
District 5 Commissioner Christine Lee.
Present.
District 6 Commissioner Evans Ehart.
Here.
And District 7 Commissioner John Moody.
Here.
Thank you, Leslie.
Here.
We do have one addition to today's agenda with NFA 016-25. I'll entertain a motion to approve our agenda with the one addition.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
I have a motion and support to adopt the agenda with one addition. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Agenda is adopted. At this time, we'll entertain a motion to approve our meeting minutes from July 1st.
So moved. I'll support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Ballard, support from Commissioner Sarkella to approve our meeting minutes from July 1st. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. You would have received your correspondence with Jody through email the other day. We're going to move into commissioner reports and we'll start with Commissioner Ballard.
July 3rd, I attended the Argyle Township Board meeting. Pretty late meeting. Ken Wemmer announced that their assessor announced that their board review would be next Tuesday, the 22nd, and they approved a land split. And I attended the Marlette. I got to take off my scrap sheet because we don't have any internet in Marlette for some reason. City of Marlette last Monday. It was the first meeting for the new city manager. She seems to be sliding into the position pretty well. They have a new police officer, Rob Major, is now on the force. They approved the DDA replacing the brick and stonework downtown. That was, I don't know how many years ago that was put in, but those things don't tend to hold up too good in Michigan through the winters. So they're going to replace that and do some other work, approximately $45,000 worth. They approved some system upgrades to the wastewater treatment plant. And right now they're on track for a November completion, which is what they planned for the duck drain project. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Roger. Gary?
Thank you, John. I attended a Moortown Township meeting last week, and in that meeting, they talk about blight issues and a few other issues that come to the meeting. And then the Sandusky City Council meeting, I attended that last week, and a couple things come up in the meeting. Several things come up during the agenda, but tonight's the 15th. They're having a city council meeting with the Parks and Recreation Committee, which is an open meeting. And also they talked about they're down to 2 people applying for the Sandusky Police Chief. End of my report.
Thank you, Gary. Bill?
Port Sanilac, the new marina owners were there to introduce themselves to the village council. They discussed their law enforcement operation with the sheriff's department. They're very pleased with their agreement that they have there. Some discussion on an ordinance for fishing on the village docks, and then also an update on their water report. They're getting ready to hopefully get that going with the township and have their water working in town for everybody. Washington Township signed their road maintenance agreement. A couple zoning splits, cemetery update for them there, and then the drive-in. There's issues with the drive-in. They try to get their ordinances in order with that. Bridgehampton, we had to meet at CPS Elementary. They had their pressure tank broke in their well pump inside the building and flooded everything out. So they had quite the mess to deal with there. assessors update. They have a new assessor that's taken over there as well. And then Sand Lake Township, they're also doing some water expansion. They oversee everything coming up from Lexington. They also did some work on Townsend Road, so they actually ran some water off of the M25 for them. Also the fire agreements going forward with CIFA, and they're going to be looking for a zoning, possibly a zoning short-term rental administrator at some point in the near future. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Christine?
I was at Maple Valley Township. They approved 2 agreements. One was the mowing, roadside mowing, the other one was repair a culvert for a drain. They had a bid to put a generator in that was a really good bid, so they went ahead to do that. And then they're waiting back to hear about a land split. Then I was at Brown City's council meeting. They had a public hearing for the utility rates. They wanted a resolution instead of an ordinance to raise the rates. They also had 3 different resolutions about the project that they're doing there with the water system and the sewer and things. And they had the person there that they had an audit that came back with a healthy audit. And they had one person that resigned from the planning commission, but they had somebody that was there that was appointed to the planning commission. So that wasn't an empty seat for very long, like 2 minutes. And then they set different dates for trick or treating, and they're having a fundraiser for one person that was on the festival commission for so many years that he has some health issues. So they're doing a fundraiser for him and his family. And that is it for that.
Sure, thank you,
And
Christine.
then I went to the Evergreen Park ribbon cutting ceremony. I was very impressed with Evergreen Park. I mean, I've been to a lot of parks and different things, and as a kid, we used to go up to Higgins Lake to go camping and whatever, and this park knocks it out of the ballpark as far as if you wanted to go camping or even day activities, or they have kayaks that you can rent there and just different things that you can do.
How many holes of putt-putt did you play? She sent a picture out because she was there with her putter at the putt-putt, rubbing in some of the golfers that are on the board here, but.
It was kind of raining, so I just.
Okay, just checking.
And then I was at the Elk Fire Department. They had a fundraiser this past Saturday, a side-by-side run, and I helped serve food at the dinner afterwards. And that is all I have to report.
Okay, very good. Thank you for your report, Christine. I myself last week attended a circuit court hearing regarding the solar referendum in Minden Township. Judge Rathel turned down the citizens' request. I'm under the impression that they're aiming to appeal that. Today, I went and did a walkthrough of the new animal control building. It's coming together quite nicely. I would encourage anybody that wants to go take a look at it. I think they'd happily have you and give you a walkthrough. The plumbers were in there today, so it won't be too much longer, and they'll start to be finishing things out. And then also I had a phone conversation with our emergency management director yesterday, and he gave me an update on the emergency management plans that he's working on with entities within the county. That's all I have. Evans?
I was on vacation out of state a couple weeks ago, so I have nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. John?
I have no report. I have one Fremont Thursday night and 2 Worth Township next week.
Okay. Need everyone commissioner reports. Nathan, your administrator report, please.
Start off by saying the Applegate demolition project and the Lexington demolition project are both complete now, so that's good through the land bank grant. Lexington got finished up this morning, I believe, so both of those are complete, which will then move all the focus to Brown City and the rehab project over there, which will be a positive, because that's the positive about that is it's not just a demo, it's a rehab, so that will be a much in my opinion a better outcome than just demoing a piece of property. Looking forward to that. I did meet with Joanne Bai, our recycling coordinator. The glass is being accepted at the recycling center, and that has been going well, she said. She reported that to be going well. Residents are returning recycling glass, and everybody seems to be adhering to their signage on what can be returned and what shouldn't. It's going well for them, so that's a positive. The attorney meeting rooms, you guys, I'm sure all saw those when you walked in. Those are coming along nicely. They've got to, they were constructing a door, and they were going to be doing the painting, and then everything will be kind of finishing up. So they moved along well. They ended up deciding to buy a door, cut a hole in it, put a window in it themselves because of the delay in actually getting a door with a window in it. So they decided to kind of pivot on their plans and try to move things along a little quicker than waiting for a door.
They've made good progress since they've started.
Yeah, good. They've been working right away at it. So the district courtroom does have is fully carpeted. It's got the same carpet as this boardroom, so that went well. And we're gonna keep kind of moving along on the carpet project as we can. Animal control, you mentioned, health department. I don't know if anybody's driven past there. It really makes the building stand out, not having all those pine trees against the building, especially on the north side. It'll help in preserving the building and the air units from getting all those pine needles and stuff. So it looks nice. And they made pretty quick work of that, the tree removal company. So everything, all the dead trees that were in the islands are gone now too. So that's good. And lastly, I wanted to thank the juvenile department. Building and grounds went around and about 2 weeks ago sprayed the island, sprayed the weeds, killed everything off. Juvenile had some volunteers that needed some community service hours, and they've been pulling weeds around, and it's really made a difference around the building and in the islands and stuff. So it was nice that they had some kids participate in that. So, and that is all I have.
Any questions for Nathan?
Yeah, Nathan, have you heard the latest, what's going on with the monument that we're gonna be putting up?
Yeah, when they were here on the 4th to put the flags out, Aaron Carlson thought tentatively by the end of July that everything would be fully engraved on the monument, and then it would just be getting, don't quote me, I think they're gonna be working with Gordy Williams on the cement part of that, but getting.
He did the last one.
Yeah, getting him, a time where he could come up and start on that work. So hopefully she's hoping by the end of summer.
Any further questions for Nathan?
It was good to see you and Christine out at the ribbon cutting Friday.
Yeah, thank you. It was great. The course, towards the end, I did grab a putter, very challenging, I will say. The hole had an elevated kind of effect to it, so we had some debate on how many shots it would take to put in. A challenge for anybody that wants to go out there. So
Also at the putt, they have, at each different hole, they have this wheel that you can spin, and then you had different
Good seeing.
ways you had to putt
yeah,
and stuff to make it more challenging. If you made one, then you got so many points, but everybody else got a negative point, and just different activities that was on it.
yeah, just nice to see some amenities like that in the county here. So very good.
Okay, thank you for your report, Nathan. We are going to move on. At this time, I'm going to call for public comments pertaining to the agenda. Are there any public comments pertaining to the agenda today? Seeing none, we're going to move on. I see no need for 13A or 13B or 14 for appointments to committees. So we're going to move directly into general resolutions. And the first one we have today is a resolution of Santa County Board of Commissioners formally opposing the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services plan to implement a competitive procurement process for prepaid inpatient health plans. And Will Morris is here from Community Mental Health to give us the rundown. Welcome, Will.
Thanks for coming.
All right, it seems like every couple of years, this, the privatization threat keeps raising its head. And this is just the next version, I guess, of that initiative. This one is actually being driven by the actual Department of Community Mental Health, with Community Health and Human Services. We had a legislative breakfast yesterday in St. Clair with Greg Alexander was there, as was Dan Lowers, so we could talk to them as well about this potential issue. And basically what this is doing is this is looking to remove local control of the behavioral health system and actually moving it to the healthcare industry. So it's going to eliminate what's called Region 10, which is RPIHP, and consolidate the state into 3 regions. Right now it's 10. Our region would include all of lower Michigan, US 10 South, basically a little bit north, US 10 South, other than the metro region, And the metro region, those three counties would be a second region, and then northern Michigan, the UP would be the third region. It would, basically, insurance companies will be able to bid for the behavioral health system through this procurement process. And it will be for either private or public private nonprofits or private entities. So like Blue Cross could apply for this contract. Some of the concerns that we have related to it, one is administrative rates. Okay, currently the region runs at about 2% administrative costs. Blue Cross 12 to 15%. So if you think about Sanilac County, we have a $30 million budget. That's real rough numbers. So that's an additional $3 million taken out of services and put into the coffers of the insurance company. Obviously, a $3 million cut would be significant as far as the services that we would be providing. It also changes what types of services we potentially could provide. You know, we have a lot of local control here as far as the services. We're able to tailor our services to meet the needs of our community, whether it be a school district that needs us to come down because they had a school teacher killed in a car accident, or we do the CISM team for local firefighters anytime they've had to deal with a significant accident. Those are services that we as a county choose to do that we may or may not be able to do if we're beholden to an insurance company that may not even be operating in our state. You know, we won't have local control. We won't have local board members that would actually be on those types of boards. We would be beholden to, I guess, corporate America, for lack of a better term. So it's definitely an area of concern. I know the Michigan Association of Counties has actually spoke out against it. It was, I believe, in their last newsletter. I heard that yesterday. There's been several counties across the state who've already passed resolutions. I think right now, as of June 25th, which was the last update I received, there were 12 counties that have already passed resolutions and several others that were, that's when I asked it put on the schedule here. So there are several other counties that have passed resolutions since that time. I'm really hopeful with the legislative meeting that we had yesterday. Senator Lowers, as well as Representative Alexander, was very interested, and hopefully that they're going to go back and push back a little bit, because all this is being done without legislative oversight. There are laws that actually need to be changed for this to happen. So I don't know how the department is actually doing this. So this is just one other piece that we're trying to get our communities to support, that we want to keep local control. So it should be right here at the county. The county, just as you all appoint my board, you also appoint the PHP board, because it's actually through that process. And this would change all of that. So those are my concerns. I'm really concerned about also, because the last several years, I've really pushed at the state level that we really need to look at rural communities different than urban communities. You know, they should not expect me to provide the same services as Genesee or in Wayne County. I went to an open house at Genesee County for their CMH. They built a building that looks like the size of a mall. You know, they're way larger than we are. They had one of those 120-foot buses. You know what I'm talking about? Those really big.
Mhm.
And it's a GHS crisis van. That's what they use 24 hours a day when they have crisis calls in the community. You know, the state has always looked at us and said, well, what do you do for crisis? I have 2 staff sleeping at home with their phones, and when the phone rings, they get up and they leave. Way more cost effective. You know, if you think about it, versus having 2 staff sitting in my building 24 hours a day, when we may not get a call. If they start making us treat Sanilac County like they do Genesee County, I could spend $1 million on staff time playing euchre, because they don't have any work to do because there's no calls. So I really need, that's a concern that I have, because if we can keep local control, I'm able to do the system the way I do it, which reduces our costs because I'm not paying staff when they're sleeping. You know, we also do a lot of community benefit things. I wanted to share a text message that I received over the weekend, which is like perfect timing. I don't normally get these types of text messages, but we do a lot of things in our community here at Sanilac County Community Mental Health. We do a lot of radio spots. We go to all of the, well, most of the summer fairs we have booths at. And those are all things that, obviously, if we had a 10% reduction, those would be the first things I'd have to cut, because I would want to continue to provide services to our community. But so I'm just going to read this text message that I received from a community member. And I quote, So I'll be reading it with the incorrect grammar a few times, so bear in mind that it wasn't positive this. It says, I don't usually hear your name spoken out loud at a Bible study, LOL. But you literally said Will Morris's mental health moment in the radio got me to reach out for help and was an answer to his prayers. You saved a life. That's why we do what we do. These are situations that, I don't feel my radio spots that have that type of impact, but it was nice to receive this type of text message because it's something that I can't really report. If you ask me if my radio spots are effective, I would say, well, I hope so. Now I actually have someone who texted me that showed me that, at least for that particular person in his Bible study, it obviously was. So we want to make sure we keep things local, so I would really appreciate your support.
Okay, any questions for Will? Hearing none, Will, we appreciate you being here today to explain the situation.
I just want to make one comment. Will and Angie Hooper from Mental Health showed up at our ribbon cutting. And they have an interest in it because they take groups of kids out for day activities. And they kind of wanted to see what we had to offer up there. So I would expect you'll see them out there at some point, probably this summer yet.
I hope so.
So, but it was good to have you guys out there.
Very good. Well, thank you again for being here, Will.
All right.
Commissioner Ballard, being you're our representative on the Mental Health Board, would you be willing to read the resolution?
Need a drink. It's water. That didn't sound right. Resolution of Santa County Board of Commissioners formally opposing the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, MDHHS, plan to implement a competitive procurement process for prepaid inpatient health plans, PIHP. Whereas the state of Michigan currently operates a publicly managed and community-based system for the delivery of specialty behavioral health services through 10 PIHPs, which are responsible for managing Medicaid, mental health, developmental disability, and substance use disorder services. And whereas the current PIHP system has consistently demonstrated value, local accountability, and community engagement while successfully managing costs and improving health outcomes for vulnerable populations. And whereas the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services recently announced plans to initiate a competitive procurement process for the management of PIHP functions, which may open the door to private nonprofit health plans or managed care organizations assuming control over behavioral health services. And whereas such privatization, could disrupt longstanding relationships between local mental health authorities, providers, and the communities they serve, and jeopardize a person-centered, recovery-oriented approach that has been cultivated under the public system. And whereas by initiating a procurement process incorporating private nonprofit organizations whose administrative costs typically are 4 to 10 times more than the current PIHP structure, will significantly reduce the amount of funding available to produce direct services to members of our communities in need. And whereas many stakeholders, including individuals receiving services, advocates, local officials, and providers have expressed significant concerns about the potential impact of a competitive procurement process on care quality, access, local control, and transparency. And whereas counties across Michigan have historically played a vital role in the governance, funding, and oversight of the public behavioral health system, and any change to that structure without meaningful county input undermines the principle of local governance. And whereas maintaining a publicly accountable and locally governed behavioral health system is essential to ensuring that individuals with mental health and substance use needs receive timely, appropriate, and high-quality care. Therefore, be it resolved that the Sanilac County Board of Commissioners formally opposes Michigan Department of Health and Human Services plan to implement a competitive procurement process for PIHPs. And be it further resolved that the board urges Governor Whitmer, the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, the Michigan Legislature to halt any plans for privatization and instead work collaboratively with counties, PIHPs, community mental health services programs, service users, and other stakeholders to strengthen and improve the public behavioral health system by only allowing public organizations with experience in managing Michigan's public mental health system to be part of any bid process should one occur. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be transmitted to Governor Whitner, MDHHS Director Elizabeth Hurdle, members of the Michigan Legislature representing Sanilac County, Senator Dan Lowers, and Representative Greg Alexander, and the Michigan Association of Counties, MAC.
I have a resolution offered by Commissioner Ballard. Is there support?
Support.
I have support from Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion?
I just want to thank Will for coming out and explaining it to him, and it makes what they want to do makes no sense. Fighting it makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with you, Roger. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Leslie, a roll call, please.
Commissioner Ballard,
Yes.
Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Block,
Yes.
Commissioner Heberling.
Yes.
Commissioner Moody,
Yes.
Commissioner Sarcella,
Yes.
Commissioner Ehart.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Thank you, Leslie. Okay. Next up on the agenda under general resolutions is a resolution supporting Region 7 area on aging annual implementation plan. Christine, would you be willing to read that one for us?
Resolution supporting the Region 7 Area Agency on Aging Annual Implementation Plan, where said agency has developed a FY 2026 Annual Implementation Plan, and the Board of Commissioners have reviewed the same. Therefore, be it resolved that the Sanilac County Board of Commissioners hereby support the FY 2026 Region 7 Area Agency on Aging Annual Implementation Plan. Be it further resolved that the resolution be spread upon the proceedings of the Sanilac County Board of Commissioners this 15th day of July 2025, and to forward a copy of this resolution to the Region 7 Area Agency on Aging.
Good. I have a resolution offered from Commissioner Lee. Is there any support?
Support.
I have support from Commissioner Ballard. Is there any discussion?
Well, did you know how short that resolution is?
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Leslie, a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Ballard,
Yes.
Commissioner Ehart.
Yes.
Commissioner Sarcella,
Yes.
Commissioner Block,
Yes.
Commissioner Moody,
Yes.
and Commissioner Heberling.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
Okay, busy day for resolutions. Next up is a resolution approving a brownfield plan for the Maple Valley Estates redevelopment in Brown City, Michigan pursuant to and in accordance with the provisions of Act 381 of the Public Acts of the State of Michigan of 1996 as amended. Do I have a commissioner volunteering to read that resolution?
I'll read it.
Okay, thank you, Evans.
Whereas the Michigan Brownfield Redevelopment Financing Act, Act 381, PA 1996 is amended, authorizes municipalities to create a brownfield redevelopment authority to promote the revitalization, redevelopment, and reuse of contaminated, blighted, functional, obsolete, historical, designated, or housing property through a tax increasement financing of eligibility activities approved in the brownfield plan. And whereas the Sanilac County Board of Commissioners established the Sanilac County Brownfield Redevelopment Authority under the procedures in Act 381 to facilitate the redevelopment of brownfield within the County of Sanilac. And whereas the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority of the County of Sanilac, pursuant to and in accordance with the provisions of the Brownfield Redevelopment Financing Act, being Act 381 of the Public Acts of the State of Michigan of 1996 as amended, has received the recommended for approval by the Sanilac County Board of Directors a brownfield plan pursuant to and in accordance with Section 13 of the Act. And whereas the City of Brown City Council reviewed the plan at the regular council meeting on June 9th, 2025, and passed a resolution of concurrence and resolution of understanding to allow the County of Sanilac and Sanilac County Brownfield Redevelopment Authority to administer the plan. And whereas the authority has at least 10 days before the meeting of Sanilac County Board of Commissioners at which the resolution has been considered, provided notice to fully informed all taxing jurisdictions which are affected by the plan about the fiscal and economic implications of the proposed plan, and the Sanilac County Board of Commissioners have previously provided to the taxing jurisdictions a reasonable opportunity to express their views, recommendations regarding the financing plan in accordance with sections 13 and 14 of the Act. And whereas the public hearing has conducted at the regular meeting of the Sanilac County Board of Commissioners on July 1st, 2025. And whereas the Sanilac County Board of Commissioners has made the following determinations and findings. A, the plan constitutes a public purpose under the act. B, the plan meets all the requirements for a brownfield plan set forth in section 13 of the act. C, the proposed method of financing the cost of eligible activities as described in the plan is feasible and the authority has the ability to arrange the financing. D, the costs of the eligible activities proposed in the plan are reasonable and necessary to carry out the purpose of the act. E, the amount of captured taxable value estimated results from the adoption of the plan is reasonable, and whereas as a result of its review of the plan and upon consideration of the views and recommendations of the taxing jurisdictions, the Sanilac County Board of Commissioners desires to proceed with approved of the plan. Now therefore be it resolved that 1, plan approved pursuant to the authority vested in the board by the act and pursuant to and in accordance with the provisions of section 14 of the act, the plan is hereby approved in the form attached as Exhibit A to this resolution. The brownfield plan for the Maple Valley Estate Redevelopment Project as presented pursuant to and in accordance with the provisions of Act 381 of the Public Acts of the State of Michigan of 1996 as amended. The duration of the plan is estimated for a 30-year period, but shall not exceed 35 years, provided by subsequent increases or decreases in the tax increment revenues per Act 381. 2, severability should any section, clause, or phrase of this resolution be declared by the courts to be invalid, the same shall not affect the validity of this resolution as a whole, nor any part thereof other than the part so declared invalid. 3, repeals. All resolutions or parts of this resolution in conflict with any of the provisions of this resolution are hereby repealed. County of Sanilac, State of Michigan, I, the undersigned, duly qualified and acting clerk of Sanilac County, State, Michigan, do hereby certify that foregoing is a true and complete copy of resolution adopted by the Board of Commissioners for the Sanilac County at a regular meeting held on the 15th day of July 2025, the original of which resolution is filed in my office. It witnesses whereof I have hereto set to my official signature this 15th day of July 2025.
Okay, I have a resolution offered from Commissioner Ehart. Do I have support?
Support.
I have support from Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion?
Yes, first of all, I have 4 points I would like to bring up about this resolution. And first of all, this is my personal opinion. It is nothing to do with the rest of the BOC here, sitting here today. 2 weeks ago, we had several people from the Brown City area, from the city of Brown City, objected to this. And I think we all heard them loud and clear. These are people that's lived there, been part of that community. They don't believe it's a good plan. Maybe there's other terminology for it, but they did not want it. And so from that standpoint, second of all, third, I have nothing against the developers. Didn't know them. And we all know we need housing in Sanilac County, in every city, every town. And fourthly, I personally don't believe that we, as a county body of BOC, Board of Commissioners, should be getting involved with the decision that's made at a city level and at that local level. And just my personal opinion, I think, I don't know why we're doing a resolution. I don't know if that's a state mandate or not, but I think we need to stay out of things like that. That's up to the city. And again, if I sat here and listened to, I don't know what there was, 7 or 8 people from that local area and from that city were against it. I personally, I don't consciously feel that I can sit here and say yes to this resolution when I know there's people in that community don't want it. Is there other alternative? I don't know, but obviously it wasn't welcomed in that city. And we're going to sit here and say yes or no. We don't even live in a state other than Commissioner Lee, which it's just all I have.
Understood. Any further comments?
Is our resolution is just that resolution though, right?
Correct. Yeah. And so the brownfield plan is going to affect any taxing authority that's within that region. And San Luis County is one of those taxing authorities. So in the pursuant to the act, the state law that creates the opportunity for this to happen, we are part of the process in the sense that we have to agree to this resolution. So.
Christine, have you gotten any feedback from any of your constituents on this? That's your district, correct?
Well, there was a few that was here, but then there was other ones that are in support of it, so. And usually if your people are in support of something, they usually don't come to the, it's the squeaky wheel that.
I think only one of them that was here actually lived in that development. And the other ones, I believe, were from out in the township. I don't even know that they were city residents, but, and this is just a part of the it's a necessary part of the brownfield approval. I've got a plan here, and if anybody wants to look at it after the meeting, it's about 9.5 acres, and it's my brother-in-law's property in Marlette, and it's got 22 lots. And when you look at that, and then you think about, I believe it was 78 lots on 12 acres. I don't want this next to me, and I told him I'd hang him if he ever did it. Not really, but his kids can do what they want after I'm gone, but I don't know. We'll leave that up to the people in Brown City. I don't think that's set in stone. The number of lots they're gonna do, I would hope not. Cause believe me, this looks a lot more appealing than a bunch of, that project reminds me of post World War II, which was a little before my time, but I was born in 56. But when all these little subdivisions popped up, of course, probably the majority of them are doing now. But just my comments and thoughts.
I do know that when this subdivision was developed, when it first came out, it was 2003. So, different things. There's a lot of years between 2003 and now. I know that an average lot in Brown City a normal lot in Brown City is 66 by 132, which equals 0.2 acres. And they're talking about the different lots. One will be like, there's some houses out there. One house is on 0.14 acres. Another one is on 0.177 acres. Another one is on 0.185 acres. I know some of the stuff that was brought up about all the EU charging stations. That's not that many that they were talking about. Also the landscaping and stuff. They were talking about putting a park in there. That's where the landscaping was supposed to be going. And so some of the facts that was presented wasn't accurate. I know the one individual that lives out in that subdivision, she's back in the corners, like she lives out in the country. And she doesn't want it, but yet she wants her roads upgraded.
Sure.
She wants a new sewer system. And when they first put that subdivision out, they should have been collecting HOA fees. They never did. And the city basically told them that when they put the first developer put the road in so he could build the houses, but he was told that before the city could adopt the road, it had to be a class 1A road, or otherwise they weren't going to adopt it.
And that never happened.
And that never happened.
So
And that's why they don't have.
It's not maintaining.
Yeah, they don't have no snow plowing out there. They don't have nothing because the roads were never brought up to code. And the first time, few times the snow plow would go down there, it would really bust the roads up and whatever. And then we have enough roads in Brown City that need to be fixed, let alone taking over those roads. So this developer is supposed to be bringing them up to a class 1A road. They're supposed to, that these residents would have that.
Then he can sign them off.
Then he can sign it off.
I went through past there. I didn't venture in there because I didn't have a compass with me. It is pretty overgrown.
Yeah.
I remember back when they put it in, I was working in Brown City at that time. It looked very nice, but it's a jungle out there now,
Yeah.
literally.
And basically there's an apartment complex to the north of it that was supposed to be the original clubhouse to that place. And finally somebody bought that building and made, I think, 8 apartments into that building now.
That was going to be a laundromat.
Yeah, laundry facility, a room that they can rent for parties and just different things. And it just, every time a new developer bought this property and they would go to City Hall and they says, what can you do to take, fix roads, and they said, when you develop it as a, the Class A road, and then the city would take over it, and they would maybe have it for a while and put it back up for sale. And I think the shortest owner that bought it, he bought it and he didn't even have it a month and put it right back up for sale when he found out that he had to upgrade the roads and whatever. And the city doesn't have the fund to do that.
They don't look into that stuff before they
No,
sign
no.
the dotted line, unfortunately.
And this plan was approved by the city previous to it coming to us.
Yes.
So they're on board with this idea.
Yes.
And this development is similarly shaped in size as what it was originally intended back in
Mhm.
2003. And, due to the issues that happened years ago and the improper installation of things, it's
Mhm.
unfortunate, but a brownfield redevelopment is probably the only way that property is going to see any improvements.
Yeah.
So. Is there any further discussion related to the resolution? Hearing none. Leslie, a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Ehart,
Yes.
Commissioner Lee,
Yes.
Commissioner Heberling,
No,
Commissioner Ballard,
Yes.
Commissioner Moody,
Yes.
Commissioner Sarcella,
Yes.
Commissioner Block,
Yes.
and that's it.
Resolution is adopted. Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.
That's a long story.
Okay, we're still not done with resolutions today. We have one more, and that's a resolution for deficit elimination plan.
I'll read it.
Okay, thank you, John.
Whereas Sanilac County's front of the court fund showed a $57,410.93 deficit fund balance on December 31st, 2024. And whereas 1971 PA 140 requires that a deficit elimination plan be formulated by the local unit of government and filed with the Michigan Department of Treasury. Now there be it resolved that the Sanilac County Board of Commissioners adopt the following as a deficit plan for the Sanilac County front of the court. There was a deficit that existed at the end of the year in 2024 for the front of the court, a general fund budget is difficult department when budgeting it is on a fiscal year rather than a calendar like the county operates. There is also a 2/3 reimbursement received for many of their staffing and operating expenditures, but there is often delayed in getting those monthly reimbursements from the state of Michigan. In 2024, the department saw a significant increase in their cost allocation plan expense. And although the county does recoup 2/3 of that back through reimbursement, the reimbursement with the existing revenues were unable to cover the expenditures of that budget. Another thing to note, in previous years, that budget had a fund balance that existed helping to cover increased costs. But over the years, the fund balance was slowly used until it was no longer enough to cover the increase in expenditures that were occurred in 2024. As a result of everything explained above, the county noted the need to increase the general fund transfer of the front of the court, which we have done for 2025. Please see the budget on the following page showing a 5-year summary of the account. This shows the 2 years prior to 2024 deficit, which both close with a positive balance performance in 2024 year, where the issue occurred, the 2025 budget year in a projected 2026 projected balance. Be it further resolved that the Sanilac County Board of Commissioners submit the deficit elimination plan to the Michigan Department of Treasury for certification.
I have a resolution offered by Commissioner. That you, Roger?
No, Gary.
Oh, Gary, okay, sorry, I didn't hear you. I have support from Commissioner Heberlin. Is there discussion? So that's a non-general fund.
It's a non-general fund, so the commissioners are aware and, like I said, there was a few things at play, the reimbursement, the increased cost allocation, there was a fund balance that we had been utilized. It was just due to the increases, the fund balance wasn't able to offset that, but we've corrected that moving forward, knowing that,
They need a larger influx on the front
Yeah.
side.
yeah, the general fund transfer just needed to be larger, so
Okay.
we've addressed that issue.
Very good. Any further discussion related to the resolution? Hearing none, Leslie, a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Moody,
Yes.
Commissioner Heberling.
Yes.
Commissioner Block,
Yes.
Commissioner Ehart.
Yes.
Commissioner Ballard,
Yes.
Commissioner Sarcella,
Yes.
Commissioner Lee.
Yes.
Resolution is adopted. Thank you, Leslie. Okay. That's going to conclude resolutions for today. We're going to move into committee reports and we're going to start with Commissioner Moody.
No report. I have, two next week, 911 and community corrections.
Okay. Very good. Thanks, John. Evans?
Also no report.
Okay. I had a policy meeting this morning. The board will see two items moving from finance in a couple of weeks. One of them is going to be related to probationary periods for employees. And the other one is going to be some adjustments to our purchasing policy. You know, a few years ago, we made an adjustment from 2,500 to 3,500. Nathan had some very thoughtful ideas on the purchasing policy that might actually make the emergency purchasing policy a little cleaner and a little neater as well. And so we had good discussion about that today, and you guys will see that on the finance agenda in a couple of weeks. That's all I have. Christine?
I had a CAPC meeting this morning, the baby pantry, they've been having different or visitors or whatever, talk about the different services that are in Sanilac County. Also, Michigan Works have attended a few of them that's about what they can offer. Kids Day was great. That was during the festival up here. This past Saturday, they had a free movie at the theater. They had 130 people that attended that. August 21st is the Youth Empowerment Camp. They have 63 that have signed up for it so far. Project Connect is September 25th, and the Suicide Awareness Remembrance Walk is September 13th. The Health Department, the senior fair had a good turnout, but they didn't have a number of how many was there. Lyme disease is on the rise. There was 8 cases in Sanilac County. Measles cases in the United States have reached their highest level since the disease was declared eliminated in 2000. Michigan Department of Health Services urging residents to stay cool during the extreme heat, hot days. And there's been a lot of drowning deaths that could have been avoided by simple precautionary things that they could have done. And they're still working on the wind and solar aspects that we directed them to check into. Maple Valley, the community center, the rooms at the community foundation that are going to be rented, they're almost finished. They're going to be moving in early August, and they're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony sometime in September or October. And there's a daycare center that wants to rent 4 classrooms on the north end of the building, and they plan on up to 75 kids. And that's all I have.
75 kids on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's quite a few.
They're renting, gonna use the 4 original classrooms.
Very good. Thank you for your report, Christine.
You're welcome.
Bill?
Board of Public Works met, bylaws are completed, and currently there's no projects. That's all I have.
Sure. Gary?
Yes, tomorrow is our, MMPC, meeting in Carroll, tomorrow, afternoon. Was Tuesday, Wednesday. Nathan and I attended the Sanilac County Emergency Preparedness Meeting, over on Dawson Street. Today we have the, Sanilac County Planning, Committee meeting here at 3:00. And then, you already mentioned, Jonathan, from a building ground standpoint, the animal shelter is coming along very well. We had, one of our daughters from South Carolina was up last week, so Jeremy gave us the grand tour. So I'm really good.
Sure. Thank you for your report, Gary. Roger?
I had a community mental health program committee meeting last Tuesday. They are currently serving 556 individuals besides the others that we do. And going to be some upgrades to the parking lot lights to make it safer for their staff that is there at night. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Roger. I have one thing I forgot to update the board on in committee reports I'd like to cover quickly, and that's that I had a SAVE council meeting last week. That we actually have an agenda item in the finance packet, but something happened in that meeting. There was some discussion and it was related to housing in the county. And so there's a shelter for people to go to. And they've actually noticed that people are staying in that shelter longer because there's a lack of housing in the county. And so I suppose one way to look at it too is the development in Brown City, as contentious as it may be, it is more housing development within the county. And we do have an issue with that. And that could alleviate, having more housing to alleviate issues in other areas. So I just wanted to share that. That will complete committee reports. We're going to move into unfinished business that we actually have today, starting out with FA 088-25, authorization of court restructuring, 24th Circuit Court, 73A District Court, and Probate Court.
Sanilac County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes the proposal for the court restructuring and to reduce the FTE list by one magistrate clerk and to approve the following amended job descriptions. Further authorize the court clerk to magistrate and court clerk to district court positions move from a pay grade 4 to pay grade 5 and juvenile register move from pay grade 6 to pay grade 7, effective the first full pay following board approval.
I have a motion from Finance Chairman Sarkella, support from Commissioner Moody. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. That's going to conclude unfinished business. We're going to move directly into new business. And today we're going to start out with FA 102-25, approval of current claims.
Five.
C25.
Oh,
No,
Oh,
I already started at 104.
yeah. Like we're missing a couple pages.
yeah. For the, in the back. I wonder if it's possibly before this restructuring addition in here.
In yours.
I have the language.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I don't either.
I don't think it's in there.
I don't think it is. So let's do this. Motion to table FA 102-25 to the end of new business. And Nathan, maybe you could get with Jody and you can get that.
And the next one's not in there either.
Yeah, we start at 104.
We start at 104, yeah.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to table FA 102 and 103 until the end of new business.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support it.
I have a motion from Commissioner Heberlein, support from Commissioner Lee to move FA 102 and FA 103 to the end of our new business. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. We will now move on to FA 104-25, approval of a general fund bank account checks charged to May 2025.
Charged to June 2025.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess it depends on which one of these I'm reading. It is June.
Okay, thank you. Sanilac County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the payment of additional general fund bank account checks charged to June 2025 as follows. $603,007.06 in ACH payments, $2,333,119.50 in checks, for a total of $2,936,126.56.
Support. I have a motion from Finance Chairman Sarkella, support from Commissioner Ehart. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. We will now move on to FA 105-25, adoption of job reclassification procedure policy.
Sanilac County Board of Commissioners hereby adopts the amendments to the job reclassification procedure policy as listed.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sarkella, supported from Commissioner Lee to adopt the job reclassification policy. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 106-25, authorization to purchase 911 backup system for central dispatch.
Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes Central Dispatch purchase of Mevo kit from Indigital in amount not to exceed $7,425 for the initial setup with funding from the 9/11 millage.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sarkella, support from Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? This is the kit that they can actually set up and plug in anywhere and create a 911 just about anywhere. So if
I
they
think
had,
Don handed out pictures of that.
yeah. So if there was ever an issue at the EOC building, they could easily set up. And I think she even indicated that other counties will utilize that. And they can create a geo grid so they could have all the calls for a specific area go to those phones instead of this. So let's say there's a catastrophe in one part of the
It's
county.
portable.
Any further discussion related to FA 106-25? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 107-25, authorization to upgrade phone system and router information technology.
The Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes the update to the current phone system software from NetSource One at a cost not to exceed $5,300 with funding of $2,650 from the information technology and $2,650 from the 9/11 millage, and to further authorize updating the phone router at a cost not to exceed $22,989 with funding from the sheriff's office.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sarkella, support from Commissioner Heberlein. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 108-25, authorization for Police Academy sponsorship, Sheriff's Office.
Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby authorizes the sheriff's office send 3 newly hired recruits to the Oakland Community College Police Academy from August 6, 2025 to December 12, 2025 at a cost of $20,000 each for a total cost not to exceed $60,000 with reimbursement if available from MCO's Public Safety Academy Assistance Grant Program and Michigan Work Grant Program. If grant funding is unavailable, funding then from the sheriff's office budget.
Support.
A motion from Commissioner Sarkella, support from Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion?
Are these, Nate's not here, are they hired? I mean, do they have 3 in the wing?
I think so.
Yes.
And
There you
I believe when they were here during the finance meeting discussing that, didn't Sheriff indicate that this would almost make them whole for staffing?
Yeah, it says,
They're not coming from corrections, are they?
I don't know the answer to that, but I don't believe
I
so.
don't think so.
And part of that, Commissioner Moody, is when they sent them there, there was an added cost for hotel room. And they decided to take one vehicle and drive each day. I don't know if you're aware of that, to save the county money.
Because this is a different location. that they're-
Oakland, yeah, we have
Yeah.
never sent anybody to Oakland that I can think of.
Any further discussion related to FA 108-25? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 109-25, authorization of land bank grant project.
Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby awards and authorizes environmental testing and consulting the bid in amount of not to exceed $6,835 with funding from the Land Bank Grant Project for the purpose of completing all testing, including reporting and clearance for property in the city of Brown City for immediate approval.
support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sarkella, supported by Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to NFA 015-25, acceptance of the Park Board recommendation.
Sand Lake County Board of Commissioners hereby accepts the Park Board's recommendation to terminate the Sand Lake County Parks and Recreation Director Vincent McAuliffe effective July 15th, 2025.
Support. I have a motion from Commissioner Sarkella, support from Commissioner Ehart. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
I think we only got part of that one. So, all these right here. This.
Yeah, we
is
got
the
part of it.
Transfer.
Yeah, we got all the info. We just didn't get the
Yeah.
motion.
Motion cover pages there.
Because these are all the transfer amounts.
Still have it.
Yeah, we have the NFA 016.
Oh, yeah, I got that on there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, so next up, we will handle NFA 016-25, approval of property purchase and authorization of signer for animal control.
Sandlot County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the purchase of property located at 65 South Campbell Road, God bless you, Sandusky, Michigan, parcel number 320-105-000-00102 at a cost not to exceed $1. And further authorizes Jonathan Block, Board Commissioner Chairman, and or Nathan Rotsky, County Administrator Controller, as the authorized signers for the purchase of the property in the Animal Control Shelter Building Project.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sarcella, support from Commissioner Heberlin. Is there any discussion?
I just want to add, and probably everybody that's been here in our meetings, this became a reality by the way of the city of Sandusky wanting the current animal shelter back because it was on their property. And the city of Sandusky offered us that property for $1. So it's a trade-off. It helped both ways.
Yeah, that was a good example of an intergovernmental agreement, right, Gary?
Yep.
Any further discussion related to NFA 016-25? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Nathan, do you have anything for?
Yeah, so just so you guys are aware, the original packet had everything in there. I think when I went to the copy machine, due to the humidity, some pages have been double grabbed.
Oh,
So Jody's reprint, because we went back to the original document that she created, I proofed, and everything was in there.
Yeah.
But the snafu hit the copy machine.
I was gonna say, when I looked at it electronically, it was all there.
She's rerunning things,
Okay.
yeah, with those 3 pages right now, so she's just trying to get those, so I just
Okay.
wanted to, they
We'll
should
just,
be
we'll be in a holding pattern waiting.
shortly.
The humidity is the real deal too. Every door in this building is, you have to slam it shut, yank it open.
I do have the link.
Back up. We'll see you in 3 weeks.
I do have the link. Oh, here he comes.
We moved. We already did 10425, correct? Leslie?
Yeah.
102 and 103.
All right, so back to approval of current claims, FA 102-25.
Sandlot County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the payment of current claims identified on the accounts payable report dated July 8th, 2025 for the general bank account in the amount of $302,811.17.
Support.
I have a motion from Finance Chairman Sarcella, support from Commissioner Ballard. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Moving on to FA 103-25, budget adoptions, amendments, appropriations, and transfers.
Sandlot County Board of Commissioners hereby approves the following amendments and establishes the following accounts as listed.
Support.
I have a motion from Commissioner Sarcella, support from Commissioner Lee. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. That's going to conclude new business today. So we're going to move into general public comments. Are there any general public comments today? Will?
I just wanted to share on behalf of the individuals that we serve and the county residents that benefit from our services. I wanted to thank you all for your support on the resolution that we passed today.
Thank you, Will. We appreciate you being here to give us the information as well.
Trying to keep local control.
Yes. Any further public comments?
So my name's Tim Hayden. I'm the chairman of the Brownfield Authority. If I was to set up a training with our consultant for you guys, so you understand better what is going on through the whole process, would you guys be willing to attend?
I would.
Potentially.
I understand, your concerns. I just want to make sure you guys understand that each of your districts appointed somebody to that Brownfield Authority, and we take it very seriously. We've gone above and beyond, I believe, as far as hiring and getting training. And I just want to make sure you guys understand what goes into it and what, I mean, because it's very confusing. I totally understand. I don't want you guys feeling like we're not giving you all the information that you need. So I talked to Samantha and she's willing to, she gave me a date. If you guys want, she'd come up and actually kind of give you guys a rundown of how the brownfield works with the housing section. Cause I know that's all new to everybody's.
Okay. I appreciate the offer.
Could you do that in a BOC meeting? Or you're still talking about an hour long or 2 hour long?
Yeah, we wouldn't do it in a meeting, but it
Yeah,
would
it'd be
be,
like an hour long
Mhm.
training. Kind of.
I think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah, I do
The
too.
brownfield committee was dead in the water for,
A number of years.
Yeah.
And there's gonna be more projects coming.
and it's something that needs to be taken advantage of.
yeah.
Yeah, there'll be more projects with the relaxing of the rules, allowing it to include housing.
Yes.
For sure.
The problem I had, go ahead, sir.
No, it's fine.
The problem I had, and I thought I pretty clearly stated, I'm not against housing, believe me, I'm not. We need it. But we had a number of people from that community come and the developers never refuted basically anything they said. So I took their word for it. So, yeah, good idea.
And just so you know, Nathan has my contact, I believe Christie, if you guys ever have any questions, feel free to contact me. If I don't know the answer, I'll get a hold of Sam, because Sam reviews every plan. And then, I'll be honest, she dumbs it down for us, so we understand, exactly kind of what's going into it. I know there was some concern about like Christine brought on about the 50,000 units. We actually went and looked at the plan after the meeting 2 weeks ago, because we looked at a couple plans. They had budgeted $50,000, not for 50. And they probably should have refuted some of that, I agree with you. But I just want to let you know, the brownfield's here to help you guys, so if you need anything, just reach out.
We appreciate that and appreciate your service on that brownfield because the brownfield's finally bringing good projects to the community and doing some good. And it takes people to do that. So thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Any further public comments today? Seeing none, we are going to move on. I see no need for closed session or approval of closed session minutes, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn our BOC meeting at 2:06.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Roger, did you support that?
Sure.
I have a motion and support. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.